Let me tell you the exact moment my world split open. I walked into my kitchen, briefcase still in hand, sweat from the summer sun clinging to my neck, ready to surprise my wife Scarlett with early dinner plans for our 25th anniversary. Instead, I walked into a goddamn ambush. Before I go further, let me give you some context. My name's Jonathan Reed. I'm 52 years old, an ex-Army Ranger, and I am now running my own security consulting firm out of Austin. I've always been the stable one, put together, disciplined provider type. I married Scarlett when I was just starting out and we built a life together. Or at least I thought we did. We've got one daughter, Willow, who just graduated college and came back home while she figures things out. I've worked my ass off to give my family a life I never had. But apparently none of that means anything now. Scarlett was by the counter, wine glass in hand, acting like this was a casual Tuesday. Our daughter, Willow, sat at the table, practically buzzing with whatever secret they'd been cooking up. The air was weird, tight, thick, like the universe was holding its breath. Scarlett gestured to the chair across from them. "Jonathan, please sit." I dropped my briefcase and took the seat, noting how Willow's eyes lit up like she was the ringmaster at some twisted family circus. "Dad, we need to talk," she said. The tone? That smug, fake concerned cadence people use when they're about to screw you over and pretend it's for your own good. Scarlett exhaled through her nose and launched in. "We're about to hit 25 years. And I want something different. A change." I kept my voice level. "What kind of change?" Willow, ever the helpful trader, jumped in. "An open marriage, Dad. Mom wants an open marriage. And I think it's a great idea." I blinked at her, trying to process what the hell kind of family meeting this was. "You're telling me," I said slowly, "that your mother wants to start dating other men and you're cheering her on?" Willow nodded like she was pitching me a startup. "It's modern. Everyone does it. Love isn't about monogamy anymore. It's about trust." Trust. That word hit like a slap. Scarlett chimed in again. "Jonathan, it's not about not loving you. I'm just bored. I want to explore. Sleep with other people. Feel something new." She said it like she was ordering a new espresso machine. Not even a flicker of remorse. My Army Ranger instincts kicked in. Don't react, don't show emotion. Count. Breathe. "So let me get this straight," I said. "You want to bring other men into our lives. And what do I do? Wave goodbye as you head off for cocktails and condoms?" Willow scoffed. "God, Dad, stop being dramatic. You can date too. Get a Tinder profile. Might take a few tries, but I'm sure someone your age is out there." The sarcasm hit hard. My own daughter mocking me. I felt like I was in a bad reality show. "Is there someone already?" I asked Scarlett, trying not to raise my voice. She bit her lip. "Yes. James. James Smith. He owns the restaurant you like." "Oh. James?" "The same smug prick I've done business dinners with for years." My blood pressure spiked. Willow actually beamed. "Mom has great taste. James is hot. I mean, if you're gonna do this, go big, right?" That was it. Something inside me went stone cold. I stood up and walked to the sink. "Scarlett," I said without turning around, "this isn't a small thing. You know that, right?" "I do," she replied. "And I've never been more certain." "Fine," I said. "I'm in." They both froze. Willow smirked. "Wait, you're agreeing? You'll open the marriage too?" "Yes," I said. "But under one condition." Willow rolled her eyes. "You can't make conditions. That's controlling." I turned and my voice dropped an octave. "I make the rules in this house. I own this house. Thanks to that prenup your mother signed at my father's insistence. So yes, there will be conditions." Scarlett paled slightly. Willow tried to argue, but Scarlett shut her down. "He's right. The house is his. We signed it." I nodded. "If you want your open arrangement, you'll live by my rules. Or you'll find a new house, a new life." "Understood." Neither of them answered. I left them there, wine glasses, fake modern ideals, and all, and went upstairs. That night, I overheard them whispering. Willow, in her usual arrogance, "See? He won't actually kick us out. He's bluffing. He still loves you." Scarlett, quieter. "You don't know your father. He can be ruthless." She wasn't wrong. Have you ever watched someone dig their own grave and thought, should I hand them a bigger shovel? That's where I was. Scarlett thought she was playing chess. She didn't realize I'd already flipped the board. The next morning, I brewed coffee, set down a stack of legal paperwork at the kitchen table, and waited. Scarlett came in wearing one of her new yoga outfits, tight, trendy, and far too casual for a woman about to throw 25 years of marriage into a blender. She raised an eyebrow. "What's all this?" I took a sip of coffee. "Rulebook. Since we're modernizing our marriage, I figured we should lay out some structure." Scarlett frowned. "Structure? You wanted this," I said calmly. "So I made a framework. Full disclosure on partners. No bringing them to the house. Weekly STD testing. Sign-offs on overnight stays. Shared calendar access." She blinked. "That's legal," I finished for her. "Our lawyer will co-sign it later this week. Transparency, accountability. All very progressive." She sat down slowly, scanning the documents. Willow stumbled into the room mid-conversation, bleary-eyed and already annoyed. "What's with the contracts? You're not seriously trying to police Mom's sex life, are you?" I didn't flinch. "I'm setting boundaries. Like adults do." Scarlett looked torn. Clearly, she hadn't expected pushback. She'd envisioned spa days with her lover while I folded laundry and cried into my tie. But no. I was done being the dependable one they could dismiss. That night, I set up a new online dating profile. Just one picture, me in my navy dress blues, and a brutally honest bio. 52, Army vet. Loyal until betrayed. Looking to explore what my wife tossed aside. No drama, no lies. Just real. Within 48 hours, I had 3 dates lined up. Apparently, there's a niche market for angry, emotionally scorched dads with biceps and suppressed rage. Scarlett noticed immediately. You're really going on dates? You said open marriage. That door swings both ways. The first woman I met was Rebecca, a divorced nurse who appreciated dry sarcasm and cheap whiskey. We hit it off better than I expected. Second was Natalie, a painter who talked with her hands and swore like a sailor. The third, her name was Elise, was something else entirely. She was confident, in her 40s, sharp-witted with a no-nonsense attitude. We had dinner and talked about everything from war to wine, and by the time dessert hit the table, I wasn't thinking about Scarlett at all. That night, I came home late. Scarlett was waiting in the living room, arms crossed, face a mask of carefully rehearsed neutrality. Did you sleep with her? She asked. I shrugged off my coat. Would that bother you? She didn't answer. Just walked away. Willow gave me the silent treatment the next morning. Good. Let her stew. By the end of the week, I had a rhythm, work, dates, gym, ignoring the circus that used to be my home. Scarlett tried to pretend she wasn't affected, but she was unraveling in real time. She cornered me one night. This isn't what I imagined. What did you imagine, Scarlett? That you'd be sleeping with James while I stayed loyal like a neutered Labrador? I didn't think you'd actually enjoy it. Ah. There it was. The open marriage wasn't about exploration. It was about control. She wanted freedom while I stayed tethered. Too bad. Because I tasted freedom and I wasn't giving it back. 2 weeks into our shiny new, open marriage, Scarlett's perfect little fantasy had begun leaking at the seams. You could see it in her eyes, the way she glanced at my phone every time it buzzed, how she lingered by the window when I pulled into the driveway, always trying to guess if I'd been with someone new. The hypocrisy? Chef's kiss. James, her glorified yoga buddy with a restaurant, apparently wasn't the prize package she'd imagined. I found out from a mutual acquaintance who didn't even know we were in an open situation that James had been juggling 3 women. Scarlett was just one of them. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wanted her to stew. To sink into the realization slowly like a frog in hot water. Let the temperature rise until she couldn't jump out. Instead, I leaned into my dating life. Elise became a regular presence. We had chemistry, sure, but it was more than that. She was grounded. She didn't try to play games. She didn't talk in circles. When she asked how I was doing, she actually listened. The kind of woman who could fold pain into the conversation without needing it to become a pity party. And that alone made her infinitely more valuable than Scarlett, who now spent her evenings either texting like a teenager or binge-drinking red wine on the patio while pretending to be empowered. On Friday, I came home late. Elise had invited me to a live jazz night, and I lost track of time. I walked in, loosened my collar, and found Scarlett sitting in the dark kitchen with a bottle of wine and an empty second glass beside her. Did you forget we were supposed to go over finances tonight? She asked, not looking up. I had plans, I replied. With her. I shrugged. Elise and I had dinner. Scarlett stood abruptly. Do you love her? I let the silence sit. Let it breathe. Why? Would that bother you? Her eyes flared. This isn't how it's supposed to be. And what exactly was it supposed to be, Scarlett? I snapped. You gallivanting around town while I rotted home? That was your master plan. She stepped closer. I thought you'd fight for me. Try to win me back. There it was, the real confession. I laughed. Not a little chuckle. A deep, guttural, full-body laugh. You thought cheating on me would make me chase you? Willow, who had apparently been eavesdropping like the nosy brat she is, appeared in the hallway. Mom didn't cheat. It's an open marriage. You agreed to it. I turned to her, deadpan. Willow, go to bed. Adults are talking. She stormed off, muttering something about toxic masculinity. Scarlett tried again. I miss how we used to be, Jonathan. No, I said, voice cold. You miss when I was predictable. You miss when I paid the bills and played the role while you flirted with your next escape plan. She didn't respond. Just slumped back into her chair and poured herself another glass. The next morning, I texted Elise and asked if she wanted to spend the weekend out of town. She agreed. We drove to Fredericksburg, stayed in a quaint B&B, walked through vineyards, and for a moment, I felt like I was living someone else's life. Someone lighter. Scarlett texted me 15 times that night. I didn't respond to a single one. By Sunday evening, she'd left me a voicemail. Her voice shaking. I'm sorry, John. I didn't think this would happen. Please call me. I didn't. I sat with Elise on the porch, watching the stars, sipping bourbon, and feeling, for the first time in years, like I could breathe without choking. I didn't call Scarlett back. Not that day, not the next. Her messages went from apologetic to passive-aggressive to downright desperate. I knew the script. She'd play every note on the manipulation piano until I finally answered. But I didn't. Instead, I took Elise to a gallery opening and then a weekend retreat out by Lake Travis. And while I was sketching out floor plans for a veteran-run security center on napkins between glasses of wine, Scarlett was unraveling in front of the people she used to impress. The thing about living in the same city for 25 years is, people talk. And when I got a text from one of Scarlett's book club friends asking if we were divorcing, I knew the cracks were no longer private. I ignored it. Until I got the call from Willow. "You've humiliated Mom," she snapped the second I answered. "People are gossiping. Her friends are treating her like she's trash." I let the silence hang. "And whose fault is that?" I asked. "You didn't have to flaunt it. Posting pictures with that Elise woman, how could you?" I couldn't help the grin. "Funny. That's exactly what your mother said about James. Except she wasn't crying about gossip. She was bragging. She's going through something." Willow shouted. "She needed space and you turned it into a competition." There it was. Willow, the eternal defender of Mom's choices, now realized this wasn't just harmless liberation, it was a war. And I wasn't losing. "Willow," I said, steady and cold. "This isn't about you. You inserted yourself. You made yourself a cheerleader for her betrayal. Now sit down and let the grown-ups clean up the wreckage." Click. She hung up. That night, Scarlett texted me again. "I want to talk. Just us. Please." So I agreed. We met at the little French bistro where I had taken her for our 10th anniversary. She looked like she'd aged 5 years in 3 weeks. Her hair wasn't styled and her makeup was too heavy, like she was trying to paint over regret. She didn't even touch her wine. "I made a mistake," she said. I didn't reply. He's not who I thought he was." I sipped my water. "He dumped me," she continued. "Said I was too emotional. That he never wanted anything serious." I finally spoke. "And you thought telling me would earn you sympathy?" She looked wounded. "I just wanted to be honest." "You want honesty?" I said, leaning forward. "You blew up a marriage for a fantasy. You had our daughter clapping for you like it was some empowerment pep rally. And now you want sympathy because your boy toy ghosted you." Her lip trembled. "I want to come home," she whispered. I leaned back. "You already live there. Until you don't. Jonathan. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not a second option. You lit the match. Now you get to enjoy the fire." She broke. Right there in the middle of that restaurant. Tears, full-on gasps for air, mascara streaks, everything she had kept in finally burst. I didn't comfort her. The waiter awkwardly brought the check and I paid without a word. When I got home, I found Willow on the porch, arms crossed, eyes furious. "I can't believe you humiliated her like that." I stared her down. "You think consequences are humiliation? Grow up." "Maybe I will," she snapped. "Maybe I'll move in with her." I unlocked the door. "Let me know when you want help packing." She didn't follow me inside. After the restaurant implosion, I thought Scarlett might retreat for a while, lick her wounds, binge-watch some Netflix therapy, maybe journal her way to enlightenment. But no. She doubled down. 3 days later, I came home from work to find her in the kitchen wearing an apron cooking. The same woman who hadn't made anything more complex than avocado toast in 5 years was now pan-searing salmon like we were still in the honeymoon phase. "Dinner?" she asked sweetly. "Your favorite." I stared at the plate. "What's going on?" She smiled too hard. "Can I do something nice for my husband?" "I'm not your husband," I said. "I'm your legally bound former emotional doormat." She deflated just a bit. "I'm trying. You said I couldn't come back without proving I meant it. So I'm proving it. By making dinner? By showing you I still love you." And there it was. The last bullet in her chamber, love. I didn't touch the food. I went upstairs, changed clothes, and drove to Elise's. When I got there, I kissed her like I hadn't just come from a soap opera. "I need to get out of my house," I told her. "It's getting desperate." She handed me a drink. "You can crash here whenever. No pressure. Just don't let her guilt you back into prison." Elise had a way of speaking straight into my core, firm but calm, with none of the melodrama Scarlett thrived on. She didn't need to beg for love. She didn't need to manipulate for attention. She was just there. Solid. Real. Meanwhile, back at home, the Scarlett redemption tour raged on. She started sending me texts, pictures of the meals she cooked, snaps of her at therapy, blurry photos of yoga classes. The captions? Stuff like "working on me," smiley face, or "trying to be better for us." Us. There was no us. There was me finally breathing for the first time in a decade, and her trying to duct tape a bridge she'd burned down with a flamethrower. Willow's tone shifted too. She went from aggressive to condescending. "I think Mom's really making progress," she told me one night. "You should be proud of her. She's changed." "Good for her," I said. "She can apply that change to her next relationship." Willow bristled. "You're being cruel." "No, Willow. I'm being done." What I didn't tell them, what I hadn't told anyone yet, was that I'd been meeting with my lawyer again. Not just to review the prenup, but to finalize exit plans. Scarlett didn't know it, but while she was busy making Pinterest dinners and humble bragging her therapy sessions, I was arranging a quiet buyout. She had no legal claim to the house thanks to the prenup, and I had already moved half my assets into a separate trust. I wasn't just ending the marriage. I was cutting off her lifeline. My lawyer smirked when we signed the draft. "She's going to lose her mind." "She already has," I replied. And just like that, the countdown to D-Day began. It hit on a Thursday. Scarlett had just posted some soft-focus photo of herself on Instagram captioned with something like, "Healing isn't linear," when the email from my lawyer landed in her inbox. Subject line, property and financial dissolution notification. By the time I got home that evening, the house was silent. No candles, no dinner, no yoga mat out on the deck. Just the sound of Scarlett pacing in the living room, voice sharp, phone pressed to her ear. I had no idea he filed anything. No, he didn't warn me. Yes, I saw the trust clause. Are you serious? He moved everything. She looked up and saw me standing in the doorway. You bastard, she hissed, hanging up. Evening, I said calmly. You drained our savings? My savings, I corrected. All of it earned before you started your side quest with James. And protected legally by a document you were too in love to read when you signed it. She stormed over. You can't just leave me with nothing. I'm not. You'll have the clothes you brought into this house and any of the furniture you personally bought. It's all outlined. Feel free to consult your lawyer. Her face twisted. How could you be so heartless? I didn't blink. Scarlett, you had an affair and invited our daughter to watch the fallout like it was some reality TV special. Now you're upset the script didn't end with me crying on a couch and begging you to come back. You're vindictive. No. I'm strategic. Just then, Willow came stomping down the stairs. Mom said you're kicking us out. No, I replied. I'm enforcing a prenup she signed. There's a difference. You're punishing us. You chose sides, Willow. You picked hers before you even asked what was really going on. And now you get to live with it. She opened her mouth to fire back, but I cut her off. You're an adult. You can live wherever you want. But you can't live here rent-free while spitting in my face. This house isn't a safe haven for traitors. Scarlett started to cry again. Where am I supposed to go? James has a guest room, I said, walking past them. Maybe you can see if he'll take both of you. I went into the kitchen, poured myself a drink, and listened to the sound of Scarlett collapsing onto the couch. By the next day, I had the lock scheduled for rekeying, movers on standby, and Scarlett's things boxed up in the garage. The email went out at 8 a.m. Deadline, 72 hours to vacate. She begged. She pleaded. She raged. But nothing changed. The paperwork was ironclad. By Sunday evening, the house was mine again. Empty. Quiet. Peaceful. I walked through the halls like a man returned from war. Same walls, same floorboards, but everything felt different. Free. I spent that night with Elise. We didn't go anywhere. Just curled up on the couch, watching some awful movie and eating takeout. No drama. No deception. Just comfort. At one point, she looked at me and said, "You did what you had to do." I nodded. Yeah. I just hope it sticks. She raised an eyebrow. You think she'll come back? She might try. But I've changed the locks. On the house and myself. A week after I kicked Scarlett out, the silence in the house wasn't just peace, it was clarity. No more wine glasses left half full on the counter. No more text chimes announcing her flirty conversations with strangers. No more judgmental stares from Willow like I was some outdated relic clinging to toxic monogamy. Just quiet. Blessed, steady quiet. The house didn't feel like a battleground anymore. It felt like mine again. Every corner was filled with the absence of their chaos, and that was better than I could have imagined. I donated half the furniture. Got rid of all the farmhouse chic decor Scarlett had insisted on. Repainted the master bedroom navy blue this time, with no floral pillows in sight. Even installed a punching bag in the garage. Therapeutic. Elise came over more often. Not as a rebound. Not as a placeholder. Just her. Solid, grounded, smart. She didn't ask me to fix her. She didn't try to fix me. One night, as we sat out on the back deck, she asked, "Do you ever miss her?" I thought about it for a while. Not her, I said. I miss who I thought she was. I miss who I used to be with her. But no, I don't miss her. She nodded. That's honest. A few days later, I got a letter in the mail. From Scarlett. Not an email. Not a voicemail. A handwritten letter. The envelope smelled like her perfume, classic Scarlett. Even her apologies had to come with a signature scent. She poured it out. Said she was sorry. Said she didn't recognize the woman she'd become. Said she didn't know why she let James in or why she pushed me away. She talked about loneliness. About wanting to feel alive. About how she thought I'd never change and how that made her want to. She ended it with, "If you ever feel there's a way back, I'll be waiting." I didn't reply. I burned the letter in the fire pit. Willow didn't reach out after she moved out, and honestly, I didn't chase her. She made her choice. And part of growing up is learning that choices come with consequences. I hoped someday she'd look back and understand the difference between loyalty and blind enablement. Maybe one day we talk. Maybe not. A month later, Elise and I took a trip. Small cabin deep in the Colorado mountains. Just us, no cell signal, no interruptions. One morning, she stood on the deck wrapped in a blanket, hair a mess, coffee in hand, and I thought, this is what peace looks like. Not loud, not dramatic. Just real. She turned to me and said, "You seem lighter." And I was. Because I'd finally let go of the version of my life that was never real to begin with. The one I fought for out of duty, not joy. Scarlett's open marriage gave me something I didn't know I needed, a closed door. And on the other side of that door was a man I liked being again. The kind that didn't tolerate betrayal nor beg to be chosen and made peace while guarding it with everything he had. What would you have done in Jonathan's shoes? Could you forgive the kind of betrayal, or would you burn the bridge too? Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I do. Help this small channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. Every bit of support means the world. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.